How's it going, everyone? This is Cloud Chief, and in today's video, we're wrapping up the leveling process with getting from finishing leveling at 99, going all the way up to 119 item level, so that way you can start participating in a lot more endgame events. So there are 4 different armor sets that I'm going to talk about, which are going to help bridge the gap. So that way you can get from 99 and quickly get up to either item level 118 or 119. So that way you could start doing stuff like ambuscade and start getting some better gear. The first set of gear I want to touch on is going to be the Baled gear. And this has to be by far the quickest and easiest way just to go ahead and get 119. All you need to do is head to East Adeline to the Peacekeepers Coalition. You head to the back of the coalition and one NPC will sell weapons and the other NPC sells armor. I do already have a video going over this, so there will be more details in that video where you go, what NPC, and the different armor sets in that video. Every server should have the Peacekeepers Coalition built up, so there shouldn't be any restrictions. I should see every server being able to just have a new player character run to the back of the coalition and be able to purchase the gear as long as they have Baled. So the quickest and easiest way to go ahead and get Baled would hopefully be if you have some copper vouchers that you've obtained from the whole leveling up process from going 1 to 99. If you've had them, you can go back to your main city and convert the copper vouchers directly into Baled, and then you can turn around and buy the gear. I would make sure you buy a weapon first, because this is the quickest and easiest way to get a 119 weapon, and that's going to be the biggest thing that is holding you back. So even if you don't want to buy the armor, because I'm going to talk about other easy ways to get 119 armor, I would pick up the Baled weapon if you're not going to pick up anything else. In the event that you don't have enough copper vouchers to get the Baled that you would want, then I would recommend going through Adeline and getting all the key items so you can progress through the areas. I have a video that goes over this down in the description, and you will be completing reeves as you go. And then you can always reeve farm if you need some more Baled as another way of getting Baled if you really need to and you really want to get this gear. The next set of armor that I want to touch on would be Sparks gear. Just be aware that this gear isn't actually 119, it is only 117. However, if you pick up just a Baled weapon and then you get the rest of the armor, you will actually be item level 118. While you're not 119, and that's where you want to be, so that way your trusts are item level 119, 118 is kind of close enough that you could start doing very easy ambuscade on an easy month of volume 1, or you could start doing some of the higher difficulties of volume 2 enough so that way you can start accumulating points and start getting the armor in there that'll be pushing you up to 119. To get Sparks gear, you just go talk to the NPC where you've been turning in Sparks and just go ahead and buy the 117 armor that is slotted for whatever job that you have leveled to 99. And with the Baled weapon, like I said, that'll have you to 118, and that is good enough to start going out there and knocking out some content. So, hopefully you have been following my guides and you joined a Unity, so that way you should have been seeing throughout your chat in Unity where your Unity leader is talking about like these mobs appearing in Esjazata and Esjaruan and Ryzenjima. And they are talking about domain invasion, which is the next event that I want to talk to about obtaining gear to get to 119. Basically, you just want to go out to one of these zones when you see it appear in your log and participate in domain invasion. If you want more details on specifically how you go about that, just go ahead and click the link down in the description that talks about domain invasion, as I have multiple videos on the subject. But just for a quick summary, you just go out and participate in the event and you will actually get some points. You can then go ahead and head to Norg and turn in said points for armor and this is item level 119 armor. Now, all in all, this armor isn't that great outside of Domain Invasion, but it is actually ridiculous armor inside of Domain Invasion. And you also want to keep doing Domain Invasion for the points, even after you obtain all the armor, because there is just some ridiculous gear that you can get from here in the higher point values. Plus, there's just other really good gear, including Abjurations, which is just really good gear, and in some cases some of the best gear that you can currently use in the game when you get into the higher point values. The downside, however, of trying to get Domain Invasion gear to hit 119 is it is going to take 3 days of you doing the event to accumulate enough points so that way you can get all the gear so you can be 119. It's just much easier and quicker just to go ahead and get some bailed in some way and then just buy the gear with bailed, because you can get all that pretty much instantly, as opposed to you having to do Domain Invasion 3 straight days in a row getting max points so that way you can purchase the gear. However, like I said, if you plan on doing Domain Invasion a lot, the gear is actually really good within Domain Invasion. So if that's the route you want to take, you have that option. And the last bit of gear I want to touch on is Alluvian Skirmish gear. Now, this was some of the first 119 gear that was released in the game, and it is actually still relevant gear if you're using it for utility purposes. There are certain situations, especially for mage jobs, that some of this gear is still the best just because of the augments you can put on it. But if you're just trying to get 119, this was the way to go way back in the day. This is the path you wanted to take, and you can still do it now. The only thing about it is it's a decent amount of work to unlock Alluvian Skirmish and then also to do the event to get all the gear that you want. However, it is still a relevant path because, like I said, the gear is still relevant to some degrees in current 11. So that covers the 4 different armor types that you would potentially want to go for to bridge the gap from 99 to 119. So for a quick summary, bailed gear I would recommend that you go get, as this is the quickest and fastest way to get to 119. If nothing else, just pick up a bailed weapon, and if you're up for it and you have enough bailed, then go ahead and pick up the armor so you hit 119. If for whatever reason you don't want to spend the bailed and you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can go pick up Sparks armor as long as you pick up a bailed weapon, and that will get you to 118, which should be good enough if you want a little bit of a challenge to push your way through content, so that way you can start getting some decent armor and get into 119. As soon as you are 99, you should start doing Domain Invasion, even if you don't want to get the Domain Invasion armor to hit 119, but that is another alternative to get Domain Invasion armor. The only downside is you have to wait 3 days to get all of the armor. And lastly would be going and getting Alluvian Skirmish gear. The only downside to this, because it is decent gear and in some cases it's going to be relevant even when you're top end to have some of this gear with good augments on it, is the fact that there is a decent amount of work you have to go through to unlock the event, and then you still need to do the event for the armor. That about covers everything for bridging the gap from 99 to get yourself to relevant item level of 119. If you need more information on any of the things that I discussed in here, be sure to check down in the description for links to my other videos, as a lot of these other events and content I have talked about in other videos and covered pretty well. So be sure to check down there for more information. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel, and may you have success in all you do.